Welcome to Order of the Blue Lotus for what week now? Also, this is the wrong episode. I'm gonna reload that.
I like how we had both sat there talking for like 3 minutes and neither one of us looked at it.
Hey, how did it not save? Okay, does that mean that on YouTube it's wrong too? Because great. We're starting
Uh,
out so great.
I don't know how many weeks we've been doing this in a row.
It's been a while
It's been
now.
solid though.
Yeah. I mean, for being the holidays, we've managed to do this a pretty fair amount.
Which I mean, I guess makes sense considering that the rest of the year we were like, "Oh, no, can't do it. So sorry."
Yeah, it's like, well, this came up, this came up.
No,
Oh, I
never mind.
overslept like 5 times. But still,
Yeah.
I'm awful. But we're here and we are talking about the Avatar: The Last Airbender episode, The Runaway, which, as I alluded to last week, I forgot existed.
I think that that's fair.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's at least understandable, I hope, as to why everything kind of got lost in the shuffle, which we'll get more into that. But as always, when we start out the episodes, we have to talk about the descriptions because that's turned into a thing, and Brandi has just killed it every single time in the best way possible. Like she has just killed anything that Paramount could put out and replaced it with something monumentally better. I have no doubt that today will be the same. No pressure. But this week, the episode "The Runaway" is described as: when Toph discovers a quick way to make cash, Katara disapproves, and the rift between them has disastrous consequences. Wasn't entirely sure of how it would go, liked how they tied it up in the end with disastrous consequences, but it seemed a little
Yeah.
inflated for what actually happened.
I suppose. I think this episode was also just like a rehashing of um the chase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
feels like that.
Yeah. But with only like the little added benefit of like I don't know. It seems like the chase like Katara and Toph just kind of come to an understanding. But here
Yeah.
it's like they almost come to like an agreement almost. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself.
It seems
My
more solid.
description.
Yeah.
Yeah. My description is Toph and Katara are once again bickering with one another. The situation only grows worse after Toph uses her bending to win a series of scams.
Ooh, I like that. Wins a series of scams.
Yeah.
No, I like it. It's simple. It connects it without giving it away. As always, perfection. No, because I mean, this episode, it is very one-noted too. There's no B story. It's just A.
Well, actually, I wonder if the A story is really like Katara and Toph and their relationship, and the B story is actually Toph doing these scams.
It's like the AA and the AB plots. They're very connected.
Yeah, they are.
Also, I think I have now fixed this. We're good. We're good.
Nice.
Yay us. Yeah. No, this episode, the way that it started out with for me as a kid, when they're just like, oh yeah, let's practice bending. The one thing I think I remember from this was their little mud hissy fit fight. That's not the right picture. Hold on a second. It's backfiring on me now. I said I was going to prepare beforehand and preload everything. No, it was a lie. It was a horrible lie. That's the mud picture. There we go. But the mud fight, when Toph just like blasts the rock at her and she's like, oof. I was like, ow, broken ribs.
Yeah.
They're built different in this world. But yeah, it seems like the tension has been there through some of the season, but not like explosive like it is in this episode.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
don't
like they
know.
kind of accelerated it.
Yeah, I suppose. Like this episode, and it can be said, I think, for a lot of the episodes in this season so far. I think this one's the most heavy. It just feels like they're trying to get to an episode count.
Yeah.
Why?
Like, how many more do we have to do?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. And I guess, yeah, like we do get to see more of Sparky Boom Man or Combustion Man.
Well,
Um,
I mean, that is nice.
yeah.
But like all it does, it continues his story. The only key thing I could pull from this episode is one, they worked better together, but two, Katara using her sweat to waterbend. Because we kind
Yeah.
of missed up the order doing our
Mhm.
Halloween rewatch of bloodbending and all that
Yeah.
jazz. But this is before then. So I guess that kind of sets things up for that episode. But
Yeah. I think it also kind of like fleshes out Toph's character just a little bit more
mhm,
because I think a lot of times Toph kind of like gets set aside because you know,
mhm.
she's already kind of mastered her element. She's already, done these things. Like Toph is a great character, but it's kind of like that more emotional side that we don't really get to see of her. So
Yes.
I think that that is good, but I just like how upset Katara is in this frame.
Hand on the hips. Not even like on the hips, outward on the
Yeah,
hips. That's when
yeah,
you know.
that's when you know.
This episode really does up the mothering factor a
Mhm.
lot. Like intentionally, of course, just to emphasize things. But it kind of, I don't know, for me wasn't a favorite.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't dislike it. I just think it doesn't rank as high as what it's competing against in season 3.
yeah, and I get that a lot, but I think if you had asked me prior to, like, starting and doing the stream, I would've been like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, I actually really do like The Runaway," and I think that it's an interesting story. Like, I kinda just like the idea of, like, Toph just being Toph, and you
Yeah.
guys finally just being like, "Oh, yeah, let's go."
Let's
Um,
do this.
but I don't know, as we, like, work through the episode, like, the whole series and everything like that, and I sit and I, like, really think about the story and stuff like that, I'm like, "This one kind of falls to the wayside."
Mhm.
Do you think that Toph and Katara are, like, at odds with each other because they're literally just kind of, like, waiting for the day of Black Sun? Like, they're not really doing anything?
I think, yeah, it's kinda like how everyone gets kinda stir crazy if nothing's happening, just kinda like killing time. It makes you not reflect on outside stimuli as much as inside stimuli.
Mhm,
'Cause I've had that before. So it's like, yeah, I could see where it just kind of starts to expand the
mhm.
conflict a little bit more. Also, hey, Mr. Miles, how's it going? Good to
Hello.
see you. Hope you're doing well. We're doing well, just chaotic. Yeah, I think, and it does, when you get bored, you wanna go and do stuff, which back
Mhm.
then, they don't have TVs, they don't have phones, they don't have video games. Why not gamble? It's one of the oldest things in the book. I just wanna know if who caught on and how? Like, in this village? Like, did they catch on? Because the poster was that you see in the episode is the runaway, wanted.
Mhm.
Presumably because she ran away, not because she cheated at gambling.
Yeah.
So, did anyone ever catch her, or is she just, like, out there in her 120s still running around gambling?
I like to think that, yeah, like, there's this, like, legend now in that like, in like, the age of Legends of Korra, like, this
Yes.
village still is just, like it's a cautionary tale that they tell children to behave or something like that. Or like, it's
What if
just,
they
like, turned into something.
it's the origin of the phrase "robbed blind"?
Yeah,
Just,
yeah!
yeah, she robbed us blind.
Mm,
I don't even know. Yeah, I think that would definitely be plausible. I do wanna play the games, though. This is the coconut shell game, the sticks game. I
you wanna
wanna try
street
these Avatar
gamble? Is
gambling
that what you're
games.
saying?
Yeah, this episode made me wanna street gamble, which was dangerous since it's for kids. But rewatching it, it reawakened that sense for me of, "I could play that. I could do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure." Which the episode is blatantly saying, "Do not do this unless you have magic powers," but
it's true.
details. No, I did find the scene I was talking about, the other week where it was the magic stick game. Where did you go?
Oh,
I found
like,
the
the dice?
screenshot. Yeah, the dice.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
yeah, when I was watching this, I was like, "Yeah, I know exactly what
Yeah!
you're talking about."
It's, like, a little pixelated, but I don't care. The the games that they had them play, because it was the coconut shell game, you had the dice game, and then
Mhm.
you have just this giant mallet that that at that point, I feel like that's on the townspeople for not realizing, like,
Well,
we're
like,
getting scammed.
it's no, it's almost like this I for me, is like, this is some type of festival.
That does look a little bit more festive with the tents and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, and so,
Hmm.
like plus, like, they have Appa. Let's just say that they're not, like, flying around to different villages.
Yeah. Oh, true. They could just be going to different towns and stuff. I
Yeah.
never thought of that. I thought they just stayed in one town because that's how I'm like, how did they not get caught?
I mean, yeah, like, I think that that is kind of what I think too, but, like, these are tints, whereas, like, especially where they played the coconut game and the
Mm,
coconut shell game and the dice, like, there were,
mhm.
like, houses and stuff like that. So that's why I'm like, I think that this is, like, some event going on in town, or maybe they're going to different who knows?
Yeah.
Also, like, I think this episode takes, like, a couple of days.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So,
That
it's
that
not
ties into
like
the killing time thing.
like, it takes some time for information to travel because it's a pretty big village.
Yeah. True. It's a very industrial village
Yeah.
when they do that first POV thing.
Mhm.
And as we find out, it's not just a hub for scamming and stuff, it's also a hub for hawks and messenger hawks. This is the part that I always forget that Sokka had a hawk for one episode.
I can't believe you forget about hockey so easily.
I do.
He's a
No,
pivotal
because
character.
he's so dude, is it ever revisited? My memory is so foggy. Does Toph's family get the letter?
We don't know.
Oh, great.
We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know.
Hockey's
There
just
there is,
out
like,
there.
fan art of an older Sokka, and he has hockey. So,
Aw.
yeah, I don't think
Cute
there's anything,
that.
like, official, but yeah.
Aw. Well, I that part just made me laugh because I have Doppler and Radar here with me this week, and Tim and Lolo, my brother's cats, and they are literally Hockey and Momo. Like, they are fighting each other, not really fighting with claws out, more just like skippity paps, but still relatable content. I don't know, if you had the choice of an animal in Avatar, what would you want?
Oh my. This is a
Yeah.
serious question that
Uh-huh.
deserves a serious answer.
Because this one made me think, like, if I wanted to get a pet in Avatar, would it be a messenger hawk? No. I would go for, like, an axolotl mixed with an otter, an otterlotl.
Um, hmm, I
Actually,
don't
I
know.
think I have do I have an AI generating tool? I do have an AI generating tool.
Oh, this is gonna be
Draw me a
terrifying.
picture of
Oh,
an
no.
otter and mixed with an axolotl. It's it's thinking.
It's
We'll
thick.
put it that way. We'll let it figure it out. It's probably just gonna be like, "What are you smoking?" No, it says, "I'll create that image." It sounds like an interesting create Hold on. I've
Yeah.
completely derailed this.
No, it's okay.
Well, you think of what animal you would like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so much better than I can imagine.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh, Mr. Miles, you're observing something special here. I think I just found my new favorite thing ever. Oh my freaking gosh. It's so cute.
Alright. Okay. Oh. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
AI
pretty
might
good.
kill us in the end, but I love this. I'm saving that. I'm saving all of these.
They're
I
pretty
don't care if there's a copy. There we go.
they're pretty adorable.
Okay, well, now that I know
Oh,
I have this godlike
you know
power, what would you
what?
like?
I really I don't know. I had to, like my brain was going a blank. Did I say
Oh,
that
no.
right? Did I say blank? My mind was going to blank. And so
It
I
was
just
too
needed to,
distracting.
like, look at images of animals in the Avatar universe, and I'm like, "Oh, man, like turtle ducks, Those penguins are pretty cute. I don't know. I think I kind of have to go for a fire ferret though, because
Oh.
I love Pabu.
Oh, true. He's so cute. I want to see now. I want to know what AI thinks a fire ferret is. If it's just a ferret that's lit on fire.
I feel like it probably is.
Marcus Aurelius is in the house saying adorable. The AI text says a fire ferret sounds like a cute and fiery animal. I'll try to create that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to send this to you. I just found oh my gosh. We have got to talk about this. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. I just found this
Oh.
on eBay and we need to talk about this face. I
Oh.
think it's from the live action movie.
What the heck
I
is
know,
that?
right?
What the heck?
Hold on, there's another picture. Hold on.
It's like, please tell me this is from McDonald's. Because
no, I think that this is a licensed. Hold on, there's another picture. It's a licensed toy. It has to be. The thing's pretty big. Like, there's no way that this is a McDonald's toy.
oh my gosh, that's haunting.
How did they get? That's not even how Appa looks.
Why does he have jaundice? Why are his eyes yellow?
Well, I mean, the plastic may have like yellowed. Like, I get that the movie, like, you know, obviously this isn't like a 50-year-old toy, but it probably. See, okay, so here's another.
Oh no.
No. This is better. This is better. This is better. This is better. This is I
Okay.
think what Appa should really look like.
Okay.
In toy
Let me pull it
form.
up.
It's still not the best.
Okay. Okay, that's more acceptable.
Yeah.
He's still very yellow, but it's manageable. Let me pull this bad boy up. There's the alternate view while we wait of the
It's just
mm.
how
This
is
is
that
what
not a
if
meme?
I was gonna say he looks like depression personified.
Yeah.
Just oh, that poor op. Okay, here's the legit one. That's as
It's
it
not
should be.
it's okay. It you know,
Yeah. Actually, I'm wondering, based on the paint, that might be handmade. Someone might have resin printed that?
I don't know. Like I said, I found these on eBay.
Oh, well, there you go. If Grumpy Cat was a flying bison, Nightmare Shyamalan. Knocking it out of the park. Yes, 100% Rapunzel. Oh, well, if any of you have animal combos that you would like to see, I have 20 more questions for my AI
Oh,
generated bot free.
I was so distracted by what I found on eBay. What was the fire ferret?
Oh, yes, your fire ferret is ta-da!
Okay, so it's just a red panda. Like it
Yeah,
knows
it is
it
Pabu.
knows what it okay.
Oh, yeah. It's like, "Oh, I know that. That's Avatar."
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, 100%.
All right.
Me,
Where
honestly,
were we? What were we doing? Who are we?
we took a detour
We did.
because I think this episode is so, one-lined. But,
Yeah.
yeah, we getting back into it. They're happy. They scam people. They got
Mhm.
money. They it was a victimless crime for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, all they did was scam a bunch of scammers.
Yeah, I mean, some would say that's putting
You
the
know what?
correct
You know
juice into the atmosphere and the world and the
the
universe.
only one that makes me pause and be like, "I think we've crossed a line," is when they pretend that she got hit by a carriage.
Yes. I what?
That's the
Well,
only one that's the only one that I'm like, "Hmm, I don't know about that."
this seems a little bit shady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, some would say they're just taking that Robin Hood-esque vibe to a different level. But
I
still,
mean,
yeah.
that would that would imply that they're, like, taking this money to, like, give to, like, the poor people around town,
Yeah.
but they're not even doing that.
They're stealing from the rich and giving to the needy themselves. End of story.
Yeah.
Mr. Miles' next step, bank heist.
Yeah.
Actually, metal benders, if you had metal coins, you could just bend them out the back wall or something.
You're absolutely right.
And it would make sense that the firebenders weren't there, like they're in the Fire Nation, that they wouldn't think that an earthbender would be there to mess with their rocks and their stone dice
Yeah.
and stuff. So, well, yeah. They're innocent-ish. But I do like immediately Katara's like, "Where have you guys been? Where did you get all this stuff from?" And Aang's just like, "Oh, we scammed some scammers!"
Mm.
Like, the little kid who's so excited about something they didn't think, "Oh, mom might not like this."
Yeah.
'Cause I've been that kid many times. I still am that kid.
Yeah,
But do you
Aang
think Katara
definitely
overreacted? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say Aang is definitely acting like his 12-year-old self.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
and he's just relaxing. They're waiting until the day of Black Sun,
Yeah.
so it makes sense that he's able to just be himself, I guess.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, how do you feel about Katara's reaction here? Because I do think it was dramatized or whatever the word is for the plot, but
Here's the thing. You're the one that's like, "Oh, doing little kid things," and, like, I've always been the mom. So, like, I can
oh,
understand Katara. I'm a complete Katara, okay? I cry over hope and
oh,
all these things. Not really, but um, I could see where she's just like, "Okay, guys, like, this is getting out of hand, especially, like, with the amount of stuff that they just buy, like, they have so much stuff. This is the most stuff they've ever had. I'm
honestly,
sure
yeah.
I'm sure every single time they bring a basket back, Appa's just like, "We're not leaving today."
I know you aren't putting that on me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I can understand, but I do think that most of her reaction is just already geared up because her and Toph were already, like, in some type of disagreement of some kind.
Yeah, like something had been happening behind the scenes, maybe, or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've as a kid, I don't remember it, but as an adult, I'm just like, yeah, she's just looking out for their well-being. But if I was a kid watching, I'd probably just be like, "Quit being a killjoy, Katara." But it's like, no, no, I know better now. I know there's a thing called prison, and they could have been sent to it
Yeah.
if they had been caught.
Well,
So,
that
which,
is just, like, they've been so careful. I think this is actually maybe one of the first times that they're really comfortable in the Fire Nation, because it seems like in the episodes
yeah,
prior, they've been really cautious, and they've just been like, "We gotta hide Aang," and, like, "We can't stay somewhere for too long," and then it's just like here, they're just like, "What's the point?" It's like the heat finally
yeah,
got to them or something.
yeah. They're just like, let's do this thing.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, Aang does pretty much epitomize that in this episode. He's like, "I'll make you an avatar promise. We will not do this again. Hey, let's go have fun."
yeah. Immediately does it again.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Oh, let's see, Buster Miles. There isn't a prison on this planet that could contain Toph, and there isn't a bank on this planet that would be safe from Toph. She could be the ultimate criminal.
Yeah. I just
Eh,
think, I mean, Korra, spoiler alerts, but she becomes the chief of police.
yeah. I do wonder if she like cracks down on crime or like on the street scammer crime, or if she's just like, you know what? Nah, you keep doing you.
I think it almost is like the only person that can do crime is her, so of course she becomes the police chief.
There you go. She's like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
never gonna top this. Might as well.
Yeah.
Which yeah, that is funny given that somewhere in the Fire Nation she does have like a criminal poster out. Which
Yeah.
this scene, how did I forget this scene? When he holds it up, he's like, "Tell me
Well,
what this is."
sounds
She's
like
like,
a piece of paper.
"Yes." Seriously, what is wrong with you? I'm blind. Like this,
Blind.
the delivery of those lines. I appreciate the heck out of that voice acting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Which yeah, I love my new nickname. Is there a picture of me? Does it look good? Honestly, yeah.
It looks pretty good.
It looks about what I can draw these days, so
It
I will not bash it
honestly
that
looks
much.
like they commissioned Sokka to draw it.
Yeah. Somewhere Sokka's like Fire Nation counterpart is just making wanted posters.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, Toph could eliminate the competition as chief of police. Very good point. But yeah, no, they're pulling scams. They're doing things. Katara gets really upset, and they have that big blow up. And I don't think I have a picture of it. Oh, I do have a picture of it. There we go. When they're trying to send a letter to Katara.
I do like how between the 3 of them, and counting Hockey, just these 3, and they're sharing one brain cell, and Hockey has every single one of them.
Oh yeah. Just he flies over. Katara, I know you wrote this, Sokka. Toph can't write. Just oh
I
boy
also just
math.
love how boy math. Boy logic. I like how when Sokka is, like, first proposing, he's like, "Oh, we'll write a letter from Toph and send it to Katara." And Aang is just like, "You continue to impress me with your genius."
Yes.
Because they're just like, "Of course this is going to work." And then, "I know it's from you idiots.
It's so
Okay, that's right." Stop. Well, I guess our only
it,
option is to send a letter to Toph. Somehow
I think
I
we're gonna run.
we're gonna run into the same problem.
I love that. Oh, that even in this episode, where it's generally a pretty like loosey goosey episode, and then it gets serious and loosey goosey and stuff. That is one of the shining gems of it, all of it. But
Mhm.
I do love that one the time where they get serious and not just like okay, yeah, let's make up. It's like no, he's seriously like trying to solve this. Not
Yeah.
just, "Hey, guys, just get along," like most
Mhm.
teachers would say. He's like, "No, here's why." And the line about not being able to remember what his mother looked like. Oh
Heartbreaking.
my gosh.
Wow.
It's so oh, sad. Oh, I love this line. Just there I love that line. I love this whole scene.
Yeah, I think this whole
No
scene
notes.
is really wonderful, and I think that's what sticks out about this episode is,
Mhm.
like, okay, like, it's wacky, but then, like, it has, like, this very serious moment, almost, like, somber moment,
Yeah.
with Sokka trying to just explain his
Mhm.
sister, and, like, I think Sokka's the perfect one to do it because even Sokka gets annoyed with Katara from time to time
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and so for him to just, like, be like, "Okay, like, she's my little sister, and obviously I love her very much, but, like, this is why she is the way that she is,
Mhm.
and I actually really appreciate that,"
Mhm.
and stuff like that, and so it's just like, oh, so precious.
Mhm. And I love that Toph listens
Mhm.
because she could have very easily just been like, "Leave me alone, Earth tent." Like,
Yeah.
but instead she sits there and she absorbs what he's saying and appreciates it. Now, what I'm wondering is, do you and you in the chat, do you think that Sokka knew that Katara was under that cliff?
I don't think so.
Okay, neither do I. I saw online that some people were like, "Oh, he totally set her up for this." I'm like, "No."
No. Although it does well, I was gonna say, I guess almost Toph would have to know that she's there because of the way Toph sees, but if
If she was floating in the water.
yeah, prior to, like, Toph being there,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's too much thought for a Monday.
Do we want a
We're
nitty-gritty?
so close to the holidays.
It's so true. No need to think.
Yeah.
All we know is they make up, and, Katara kinda just pulls that 180 where she's just like, "You know what? I can be fun. Let's go do a crime." Or not so much a crime, but let's go scam someone.
Yeah, let's go scam.
This Yes, I love chaotic. I'd say chaotic neutral Katara. Usually she's on the good side of things. Now she's just like, let's add some shades of gray in here.
Yeah.
And Toph just goes along with it. I love that dynamic of them. I wish we got to see. Oh, go
I
for
was
it.
just gonna ask, do you think guess not. I don't know. I was just thinking, like, is Katara just like trying to show that she can have fun and stuff like that, and like, you know, she doesn't always have to be the mom of the group? Or do you think that secretly she's like, let's like teach Toph a lesson somehow, and like just show Toph that like this is a bad idea, and then it really is a bad idea.
Yeah. I feel like she probably goes into it not thinking that it'll fail. Just kind of like, yeah. I think she was more of the I'm gonna show you that I'm not just the mom, and also I want to bond with you because clearly these guys have, and like,
Yeah.
there's definitely a disconnect between the three guys and her. With the three guys, the two guys and Toph, and then Katara and Toph. But yeah, I don't think she knew that it would go like south so fast.
Yeah.
Which props to this prison for going with a wood cage. I need to know how much time though they had, and if every village in that area has a wood cage just because they think that she's over there.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the one thing that I'm like, there's something going on behind the scenes here.
yeah. Yeah.
Because a wood cage in the Fire Nation makes 0 sense.
Oh, completely. No sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh, you make that metal. And even then, like, I feel like you'd have to have, like, cement. No wood at all. So this was absolutely made just for her.
Plus, like, even if they think they know that she's an earthbender, metal bending still technically isn't a thing 100%. Because, like, very few people know that she can do it.
Right. Well, the only thing I could think of as to why they would maybe make the cage wood, or the prison wood, is if the two guys that were hunting her down, they got out of that metal cage and were like, okay, we need help getting her. She moved the metal. We don't know how, but just don't do anything with metal.
I guess, but they're also still, like, in the Fire Nation.
Yeah.
They're not in the Earth Kingdom.
Right. So why would they be searching the Fire Nation for her? This poking some holes in this that I don't necessarily want to poke.
That's what I'm saying. It kind of falls apart.
Yeah. It does. But it's a good bonding experience for the two of them.
Yeah. I think
It's,
aside from like the moments where we've already talked about prior to this, another one of my favorite moments is when they're in the cage or in the cell, and Toph just goes, "Wait, it's a trap!"
yeah. Yeah. What gave you that
Toph?
idea?
You think? She's like, "No, not for us, for Aang." And Guitar's just like, "How did I not think of Aang?"
Mhm. Exactly. And that does help reinforce how preoccupied she was with like getting Toph to like her.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every other ounce of her being is spent protecting Aang.
Mm-hmm. Well, like
So,
even Sokka this episode, like he prior to this, he's just been like, okay, like, you know, the Day of Black Sun, like he had like a schedule in one episode that quickly just got like tossed out the window or something like that. And so like even Sokka just being like just letting loose and just being like, I think they're just all so bored.
yeah.
Fire Nation is so small compared to the Earth Kingdom that they're probably just like, there's nothing to do.
Yeah. It's getting boring.
Yeah.
No, because this is what? 1 or 2 episodes away from the Day of Black Sun?
Yeah, so there's 2 episodes. So there's Puppet Master, and then there's Nightmare and Daydreams, and then it's the Day of Black Sun.
Nightmare and Daydreams. That was
But,
they
like,
went with
even
2 creepy episodes.
even, like, Nightmare and Daydreams is not creepy.
Oh, it was creepy. They made
No, it's
Momo talk.
No, it's not.
It was like nightmare fuel as a kid.
But, yeah, like, both those episodes take over the course of, like, a couple of days. So, they're, like, still, like, a week or more away from it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just they're bored.
They're being kids.
Yeah.
They're trying to fill the time. Which I mean, kids being kids, yeah, that's totally fun. Everything is just fun and games until this maniac shows up. My gosh.
What a face.
He is so intense for this show. Like even Ozai isn't this like jacked, steroided. I don't even know. But the savage thing about this is the backheaded shot of water that Katara blasts on him. And I need to know, do you think that was her sweat or did she get other water?
No, that's probably other water.
Good, because that would have added insult to injury.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was just thinking, like, rewatching this in a post Legends of Korra world, like, that almost ended him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if he had been like closer to like forming the combustion and then like the ice comes around.
Oh yeah. That would have been just like and then they did you ever watch the show Happy Tree Friends on YouTube?
I've never even heard of it.
We are not watching it on here because it is way too violent. We will watch it. I will share the screen with you after this stream is done. All of you guys watch at your own discretion. Happy Tree Friends. It would have turned into a Happy Tree Friends scene. Like they're just standing there, blood's raining down all over them. Katara just goes, huh? And Toph's like smiling, just going, I knew you could do it.
I'm so proud of you.
So bad. They just run.
Yeah.
I do like, though, it does tie in with Korra when he takes his hand and crushes the ice instead of trying to explode it. So
yeah,
they keep the consistency at least.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the one where he starts to get discombobulated when he gets hit in the face. He like kind of explodes himself and hits a wall, right?
Yeah, because like Aang blocks something with like a piece of rock or something, and then like this like tiny little pebble comes, like hits him right on the forehead.
Right.
And then like he kind of like is discombobulated, like you said, and then like it causes the combustion to happen like closer to him, and then it like knocks him into a wall or something.
Yeah. So it's like we get a hint of his Achilles heel. Oh my gosh, Mr. Miles. Yes. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. That lovely rage in his eyes. Yes. Do you know who that person is, Brandi?
I've heard the name before, but I can't.
Just not good. Same vibes. But yeah, this episode it kind of ends quietly, I guess. So they get away, they escape. These two still partners in crime. They didn't get the reward, unfortunately, but yeah.
What if in their old age, Katara and Toph go back and they just they do scams together? You know, like how old people go to Vegas.
Yes.
Katara and Toph go to like Fire Nation villages and just clean house.
Oh my gosh. I would love that. They're like, let's get the gang back together. Let's go do this. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, Sokka's gone. Aang's gone. Might as well have a girls' trip.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think Hawkeye ever makes it to the Bay Fawn estate?
You know, as much as I think Hawkeye is a very competent bird, this is the look of someone who doesn't want to be there and just kind of wants to go away. So I think he might have just flown off on his own.
I'm about to make this my profile picture at work.
Like, and the fact that it's in this scene where they're discussing like sending letters from the blind one, it's just like, you guys are
You
so
idiot.
stupid. You idiots.
I'm like, oh, earlier in the episode they're talking about how it works, and Sokka's like, we could send a letter to Gran, and there's just, oh wow, do you think that like how would they even know? And then hockey, South Pole.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Yep, no, not a chance. Definitely I would trust hockey over a pigeon, but I don't
yeah.
think either of them could get the job done. Like, you're sending him over the ocean, Sokka.
Well, I would assume that that's how it works.
Well, I mean, yeah, fair if they're sending him through the Fire Navy fleet.
Yeah,
But still, little bro's gotta get tired at some point, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I just
Part of me is just like he flies back to the store that he was bought at.
he's like, "This guy's an idiot. Sell me again." Oh, yeah. Definitely agree. But yeah, that was, as far as summarizing episodes go, very easy because it's a very linear episode.
Yeah, it's not Sokka. Toph and Katara have a disagreement. Toph blows off steam by scamming people. Sokka and Aang really get into it. They buy a bunch of stuff, more money, more stuff. Big fight between Katara and Toph. Heart to heart with Sokka and Toph. Katara now scams. Scam go bad. Quirky Boom Man. It's a trap. Get away. Letter. No more hockey. That's it.
That's a beautiful episode summary, Brandi. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Best one ever. Oh yeah, this is like having a very lean turkey at Thanksgiving. There's not much to pick off of it.
Yeah.
You got the meat of the episode and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So,
But what's
I think-
great is that I think I have about 5 theories about combustion, man. So
ooh, perfect. Also, Rapunzel says still better than the Netflix summaries. So, boom. Oh, go for it. Let's run into these theories.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, before we get into the serious ones, do we want to revisit a theory that we talked about earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. You guys remember that monkey statue?
Yes.
It's in this episode. They have it at their camp.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I vaguely think, do I have that in a picture? I do. No freaking way. I think I do.
Yeah.
Is it
There it is.
over there?
There it
Oh
is.
my god.
There is like a clearer picture of it somewhere. I think you can see it when the guys are like thinking of like their letter idea. And it's kind of like by Sokka. Anyways,
Okay.
this monkey statue comes back. And for those of you who have been watching the series or our stream for a long time, you know that we've talked about this monkey statue before.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
all the way back in season 1, the waterbending scroll, when they meet the pirates, that's where we first see this monkey statue. And Katara looks at it, and there's like this weird moment, and then Katara steals the scroll, which is like really bizarre of her to do, kind of out of character. And then she's really greedy about it the entire episode, yada yada yada. In that stream, I talked about this theory, and it's still one of my favorite ones that I've ever come up with. Because it's so ridiculous. The theory is that the statue is cursed, and whoever looks at it becomes very greedy. And the pirates know about the curse, and that's why they sell it. And so whoever buys it collects a bunch of stuff. The pirates go and get their statue back. And that's how they get their inventory and all this stuff.
Oh.
So in my brain, Toph goes and buys the statue from these pirates again. Doesn't know who they are. They don't know who she is. The statue doesn't work on her because she's blind. She
Oh.
brings it back to the camp, and that's why Sokka and Aang are acting the way that they are, is because of the statue. Because again,
Oh
it is
my
cursed, and it
gosh.
causes people to become very greedy.
Oh, and that would explain why they're just going along with what she's doing is
Yeah,
because
yeah,
oh
yeah,
my
and
gosh.
then maybe it doesn't work on Katara because she's already been under its effect, or maybe it does work on Katara, and that's why she decides to do a scam with Toph. Not only to be like, "Oh, I could be cool
Oh
too," but she goes for
gosh.
the biggest scam of them all.
That is just wild. Oh my gosh. I
Um,
believe it.
and the evidence for the statue,
Mhm.
um, like the pirates and stuff like that. The pirates, we see them again in um very like right before the first season finale, where like Zuko's ship gets blown up. Who blows up the ship? The pirates. Why are the pirates there? Because they're tracking the statue. Where is the statue? On Zuko's ship. Because Iroh bought it.
Ooh.
Exactly. You go back to the water. The
Yeah, want to watch
scroll
the scroll. Oh
and
my
wait
gosh.
and watch the stream because I was a lot more animated about it. And I don't want to hash it out again, but I believe it.
Oh,
I believe
absolutely.
it.
Rapunzel's right. Ominous music in the background. Full blown theory right there. Oh, well, Brandy's going. Pepe Sylvia. I don't know what that reference is.
Who knows? Anyways, moving on.
No, I should have pulled it up because yeah, that was I vividly remember that stream because it's just like, wait, what? What? I went full blown David Tennant. I was like, what? What?
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, all right. On to Combustion Man. Tons of
Yay!
theories. Tons of theories online. I spent a lot of time reading about them because I think that they're very fascinating. Because you have some that come out before Korra, and then
Okay.
you have some that come out after Korra. And so it's very interesting how people have been like thinking about this guy for
Ooh,
so
he's
long.
lived in our
Um,
subconscious.
exactly. So let's see here. The one that I thought that was very interesting was that a combustion bender is reincarnated, kind of like a Fire Nation specific avatar.
Oh. Oh.
Yes, I thought that that was very, very interesting because this is obviously the
Oh.
first combustion bender that we see, and then there's another one in Korra. And so we only see one at a time. Like there's not a whole lot of people walking around with these tattoos or anything like that. Um and especially like in Legends of Korra where kind of the more like niche bending types have become like really popular and like can be done
Yeah.
very easily. Like there's tons of metal benders,
Lightning
blood bending
benders.
becomes a thing, lightning benders like power the city essentially. So it's just like, why aren't there more like combustion benders walking around? And it's
Ooh.
because they only get reincarnated.
What
Um,
if taking it a slight step further, and I hope it's not us stepping on another theory, but what if it's a spirit
yeah,
like
so
Hava?
that's like what they're saying is that like
Okay.
somehow the Fire Nation throughout, you know, the history of this world, like they somehow made a deal with a spirit or something
Uh,
to make a Fire Nation specific type avatar to have like this power that nobody else has to kind of like use as a weapon of some kind or what have you.
like the only way it
And
can inhabit the physical world is if it's merged with a firebending human.
yeah, yeah. So like once Combustion Man dies, you know, then another one comes into existence.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. This theory was also saying that, like, I think the combustion bender's name is Pai Li
Oh,
in Korra.
that's
Is it?
I think that sounds right.
I don't know. Anyways, they were saying that, like, she is the next combustion bender after Combustion Man, but, like, the reincarnation doesn't take effect immediately or something like that. And I was just like, okay, well, I was like, you feel like you're adding another foil that you don't need to. Like, the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
combustion bender could have just died in between the, like, whatever. But I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that.
There's a young one. It
So,
exploded itself. Next one.
yeah, yeah. So there's that theory. And it's interesting, but I think there's others that I like more. So, let's see here. Okay, so combustion man or combustion bending only happens when a firebender has an air nomad somewhere in the family, like their ancestors are airbenders.
Hmm.
So the way that lava bending, which lava bending is something that happens in Legends of Korra, and it
Yeah.
happens when an earthbender has a relative that's of like Fire Nation descent. So like Bolin, one of
Okay.
his parents was from Fire Nation, the other one was from the Earth Kingdom, and the other lava bender who was like in the Red Lotus, I don't know his name, but it was also like said that like he had an earthbender and a firebender somewhere. So it's like that combination is how you get lava benders. Because lava
Huh.
bending is not only earth, but it can also be fire bending at the same time. So the
Okay.
theory is that you get combustion bending when you add air and fire together. And so they just have um like a relative or something that was an air nomad.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, then, and Mr. Miles mentions lava bending shouldn't be any different than earth bending. It's just liquid earth. But as we all know in phase change science, the temperature is very key. So I feel like the temperature manipulation aspect is something that they might not have in Earth. Uh,
Mhm.
Potentially, because at least with water and waterbenders changing phase from liquid to gas to frozen, that has more to do with like the crystalline structure for like the water turning into ice and then hyper excitement of the water molecules, which they could do. So I don't know, it's complicated.
Yeah. And then
And it's why.
I was also reading like on the wiki page for the series. The way that combustion bending works is that like combustion man is changing the temperature of the air like within like the path of the explosion.
Okay.
And then he releases energy, like it has something to do with like his chi, and then he releases that energy out of his forehead. And then that's what's causing the combustion or the explosion. Um, and then like the tattoos are, I think this is another theory, but like the tattoo is like a way for them to channel it. And this is something that I didn't know. So airbenders, they use tattoos, like their arrow tattoos, to like help
Uh,
channel their chi, which I didn't realize
oh.
at all. Which is why Aang's tattoos glow when he's in the avatar state because they're along his chi paths. So the
Oh.
tattoo, Sparky Sparky Boom Man's tattoo, could be something along that line of a way to like channel that energy, which is also why a lot of people are connecting it to the air nomads because the air nomads are the only people that we know to use tattoos to channel that.
Okay. I can see that connection now very easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I was thinking maybe that's like the mark of the spirit. If it was a spirit that was traveling around the Fire Nation, like it's an
Mhm.
outward marking, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Another theory, and this is just like on the tattoo itself, is that um combustion benders just get marked as like a way of like a warning sign for other people. And
Oh.
so it's almost like a branding. But
Hmm.
Combustion Man's tattoo and Pylee's tattoo, I assume that's her name. I don't know if it is. The Combustion Bender in Korra, their tattoos are slightly different. And so then people are like, maybe it's not. I don't know. It's just so interesting, like how like these theories like formed prior to Korra and how they like change after Korra.
Yeah.
Like that was so interesting to me. As I was
Ooh.
just reading through and just tearing through all of these theories.
You're just like, yes, more.
Yeah. Um,
Perfect.
another
Oh,
theory.
well,
Say what?
not to cut before we get into another one, Mr. Miles brings up an interesting point. You wonder if the head tattoo from the Airbenders, could work with other benders to help channel their chi, or if they'd do something different.
Yeah, I suppose. I would think that it would work really well for firebenders because,
Yeah. It's very flowy.
well, like that, and like they're the only ones that produce they can produce their element.
True, yeah.
So, like, I mean, obviously, we've seen how like not Korra, Katara produced her own water from sweating and stuff like that, but still, like, it
Yeah.
wasn't her chi necessarily.
Yeah. And it
So,
wasn't instantaneous like the fire.
yeah.
Had to work up to it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Very cool.
Another theory, and this goes back to like Guru Pekti, and
Mhm.
like he was explaining like the chakras and stuff like that. And so there is a chakra in like the forehead, which is the light chakra, which is blocked by illusion and it gives insight, I believe.
Okay.
And so this theory is that like some like combustion bending is all about a firebender unlocking that specific chakra. And like if they all could do it, then they would all theoretically be able to combustion bend.
Okay, so it's like flying as an air nomad. It's an elite
Yeah.
unlock thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
So like if they're able to you know, release that chakra, then they would be able to do it. Because again, he's basically just firebending with his forehead.
Yeah. It's like, "Ah, I don't wanna lift an arm."
Yeah.
You know those, like, old Spittoon cartoons where they're just like, "Hoo-too," and it lands in the spit bucket?
Mhm.
He just does that with explosions. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
what if he sneezes? He just goes that "Choo."
That is terrifying.
Yeah. His poor family.
That is terrifying.
Little Timmy's got a cold. Everyone run.
Run! Alright, the final theory is that Combustion Man and all combustion benders are actually airbenders.
Oh. Okay, that
Yeah.
one's a bit of a stretch, but
Yeah.
I assume you have evidence. Bring
Yeah,
evidence
so
forward.
the theory is, um, that, uh, when Fire Lord Sozin attacked the air temples,
Mhm.
not all airbenders were at the temples because 'cause they're nomads, like,
Right,
they're
yeah.
traveling.
Somewhere in
So
transit.
exactly. And so those few airbenders that were in transit, some of them, uh, were given refuge by the fire sages because they weren't 100% on the war just yet.
Oh.
Like, their loyalties weren't necessarily to the Fire Nation, but rather, like, spiritual connection and stuff like that.
Oh.
And so these airbenders are hidden away by the fire sages, and the fire sages have some information about a forgotten airbending technique, and they
Hmm.
teach them how to, like, do that. So I think the theory was saying that, like, the fire sages have information from the spirit library about
Okay.
an airbending technique, and
Hmm.
then that's it kinda, like, going back to, like, how airbenders can technically fly if they let go of all earthly possessions, that this is just another
Yeah.
form of that. And so something about that, because again, like, the combustion is just changing the temperature of the air, necessarily is like how it
Yeah.
works, which is
Mhm.
also, I think last week we were talking about like I theorized that Aang had fought a combustion bender before.
Yeah.
But even watching this episode, I was like, oh, he's not. It's not that he hasn't seen it; it's that he's sensing something changing in the air. And so as I was reading it, I was like, oh,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
sensing the temperature change because Combustion Man is behind him when Aang and Sokka are walking, and we're like the
Uh,
camera like does this thing where it's like kind of like shifts, and it's like Aang like realizes what's going on, and then that's like how he like dodges it so easily.
yeah.
And so Aang is just sensing the change in that in the air. And so that's why it's like taking a step further and it's like, okay, they're just airbenders. They don't know the airbending techniques. They just know this super specific way to airbend. And it just so happens to be to condense the temperature to like such a fine point, and that's what causes the combustion. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Oh. Yeah, I could see if you smashed it tight enough into a high enough pressure area, the explosion when it would go to a low pressure region would be significant.
Mhm.
Hmm. I don't know if it would have like the spark of fire though.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I'm like, I don't know, that one doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I think if I had to pick one that I
Mm.
liked and could maybe be like, okay, this is headcanon, could be that their ancestors are just like air nomads somehow.
Yeah, they have just enough.
Or the one that I think probably makes sense is then this when a firebender unlocks the light chakra,
Yeah.
that's just like what happens, you know?
Oh yeah. No, this is one that I genuinely wish we would get a nice answer to because there are
What's
so many
fantastic?
possibilities. Yeah.
What's fantastic is that there kinda is an answer.
Really?
Yeah. So in the book series, about Avatar Yanchen, they
Uh-huh.
kind of talk about combustion bending. I've never actually finished the book,
Really?
so I can't give you guys too many details because I was just reading it online, and so I was like, "Man, I need to get back to this book." Like,
I gotta figure out what
I
happens.
I think I've had it for, like, 2 years, and I never finished it. But yeah, in that series, they talk about combustion bending and maybe how, it was developed.
Huh.
So none of these theories even matter.
Delightful.
Yeah,
It's
so
still nice to wonder.
no, it is, and like I said, it was just so interesting to be like, "Okay, how old is this theory? Oh, it was before Korra, so that's why they're making these conclusions."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, okay, this is after Korra, and this is how we can come up with these conclusions," and it was just fascinating to me.
Honestly, you could go down such a rabbit hole with all of this.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
so
beautiful. Well, are those all of the
it
theories?
is, it is.
Woof. That is a lot for even just one character. Like,
One character who literally
that
has no. Oh, I do have one more theory.
yes.
Okay, I can't believe I almost forgot about this one. Um, Combustion Man is the reason why the town even figured out what was going on,
Oh.
and that's why they have a wooden cell for Toph, because Combustion Man knows a lot of stuff about Team Avatar and knows that she's a metal blender.
Oh.
So they've been
That would make that
yeah,
would actually make more sense.
yeah, because after Toph gets taken, like I don't know, the town sheriff. Um, I don't know what to call him, so we're gonna call him the sheriff. Uh, takes Katara back and is like, "All right, well, here's your reward." And then like, "Oh wait," and then like Combustion Man, who is just an absolute tank of a man, bends down, sticks one shoulder through the door before he's able to get the other shoulder through, and he's just there. And he's like, This is the girl you were talking about." Um, you know, because he's a sheriff and he talks like that.
Oh yeah.
So my theory is the kids have been staying here for a couple of days. Combustion Man catches up with them, but knows that he probably won't be able to take all of them at the same time. Especially the all the benders. Like Sokka, nah.
He can stick around.
He's not worried about Sokka, which is how Sokka becomes the man's downfall. But anywho, he realizes so he just observes them for a couple of days and then he realizes what they're doing and so he's like, okay, this is how I'm going to get one person out of the way. And maybe that's all he needs. And maybe he's not worried about Katara either, but he has metal limbs. He's probably a little worried about the blind girl.
Just a little bit.
So Combustion Man is the reason that the town A figures out what the scams mean, B doesn't stick her in a metal cage, and C, he must be eating spinach. I don't know why he's so big.
Yes,
so big.
He's ripped. I think, what if the two guys who were chasing after Toph to get her back to her parents and stuff, what if somehow Combustion Man ran into them at some point?
I don't know. Again,
because that's why he labeled her the. Yeah, but what if they were like, I don't know. What if the search for her had spread or somehow, and he found out that she was a runaway, and he's like, I can use that.
No, I think the runaway is just like the townsfolk just being like, well, what does she do? She runs away.
There we go.
That's.
I love how they all have southern accents.
The only accent I can really do.
She done that. Run away.
She runs away. You're right, Paul. Yes. I don't know, but the name is stupid enough for the townspeople to figure out on their own. The real smarts is the wooden cell.
Yeah.
And figuring out that all these scams are connected. That takes brain. And that type of brain power only comes from eating spinach. And who eats their spinach? Combustion Man. It's connected. I don't know why you aren't seeing it.
I love it. Such unhingedness is perfect. Oh my gosh, yes. Mr. Miles is right. This stream always makes me ask questions that don't really matter, but that is the fun of it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And also, I was wondering, will you be covering the next Netflix Avatar when it comes out? Yes, I think. Hopefully.
So,
yeah, we might as well. It's not like we have anything else to do. Unless it's a Monday night, in which case, most of the time, it turns out we have something that we need to do.
Apparently.
Oh gosh. But yes. Okay, those are solid theories. And there's so many of them. I'm just like,
there's so many of them. I was like, oh man, I'm really gonna have to just talk about this monkey statue again because I was like, I have no idea what I'm going. And then I was just like, oh, there has to be a theory about Combustion Man. And then it was like, there are tons of theories about Combustion Man.
They're just
no.
Well, see, and I kind of had an opposite thing where I was like, there's got to be so much fan art for Combustion Man. There's not much.
No.
There's this, which you sent me, an incredible cosplay of Combustion Man.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
10 out of 10.
And the nice thing is, I was looking over it because I'm weird like that. The pieces that he uses, they're very simple. It's just he silver painted his arm, so he didn't have to build a prosthetic. He got a silver, or his brain boot, I'm assuming, painted it silver. You just get some tan pants. The shirt would be the trickiest part. And then he got the crisscross stitching on the arm. And he added on to the forehead with the tattoo.
Do you think obviously he shaved his head, but do you think that he shaved his head specifically for this costume, or do you think he was rocking the shaved head to begin with?
I feel like he shaved his head to build up the muscle and get in the character while he was building the costume, and then it all came together.
Okay, alright.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the only Combustion Man cosplay I've ever seen. And I didn't even know about it until y'all messaged me, so props. Major props. But yeah, I was hoping there would be more Combustion Man fan art. There wasn't much. At one point I got desperate and pulled these Sparky Sparky Boom Man cupcakes that someone made.
Is this from the cookbook?
I don't know. I genuinely just don't know.
I don't know.
It's just
I like to think that in that cookbook there are Sparky Sparky Boom Man cupcakes.
there have to be. There should be. This was though one of the more genuine fan arts that I saw, and it was a Combustion Man Funko Pop
Mhm.
design. And with the number of Funko Pops that they're coming out with for Avatar,
I know, they need to stop. One, my bank account can't sustain it. 2, my bookshelf can't sustain it.
it's a good thing you don't have a cat, because they would have all bit the dust. Yeah. Oh, what was it? They came out with a Boomy one.
There's 2 Boomies.
Recently.
There's 2 Boomies. They just came out with the Momo and Appa from Nightmare and Daydreams. Where
let me see.
Yeah.
Funko Pops. If they have a list of all of them.
There's so many.
They don't. They have the Azula with the lightning during the Agni Kai one.
Yep.
They have. Oh, there's the new release. Yeah, they had Aang with his air ball.
Scooter.
You have Iroh with the blue flames around him.
He's redirecting lightning, I think.
Okay, that makes more sense. Then you got Boomy in his throne, and Azula in the Agni Kai, and then Appa and Momo.
Yep.
So.
And then they also
Why not add
Yoshi?
Yes.
Yep.
And that makes sense as a large one.
They also released Asaka with his warrior paint.
It's very cool. Have told me that. You really shouldn't have told me that. Because now I want that so bad. Oh, let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, before I go on to Amazon and buy that, I do have 2 more fan art pieces. One is just a nice simple drawing of back at camp with all the loot. Counting up the money, but also
little baby hockey.
Oh no, that's the wrong one. Hockey.
I love how it's still the same expression. It's legit the same expression.
What's going on here? And then we also have just a rendering of that scene where they're on the edge of the cliff, and I just like the added emotion on Toph's face. Just very good interpretation.
Yeah.
Speaking of good interpretations, it's not necessarily fan art, but it is a pretty awesome cosplay.
Fantastic.
Just brilliant. And this one, whoop, it was photo by Ocean, and you can find it at vk.com/oceanphoto. So I did get information on this one. Hooray. Yeah, that it looks like it's printed on a tortilla, and I'd want to eat it, but great effort. Yeah, hey, sometimes you have to make cheap cosplay, and you can make it work. But that's it for this one, which, yeah, I mean, it tracks. It wasn't the most intense, exciting episode.
But it's also not like the worst.
No, exactly. There's far worse The Great Divide. I stand by what I say. I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize unless you really mean it.
In that case, no.
Our first fight on the stream. Oh,
so sad. And it took us until season 3.
Wow, look at that. Are we people pleasers or are we people pleasers?
We really are. Oh gosh, but yes, that is the end of the Runaway, and we already did the Puppet Master. So now we get to skip on hop over to Nightmares and Daydreams.
Yeah, we do.
So
I'm so excited.
This is gonna be. I think I've maybe seen this one less than 10 times.
I love this episode.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it again because I don't remember as much of it as I would like, but it's more than this one, so I'll have more to talk about. Awesome. All right. Well, if that is it, we'll say goodnight to Mr. Miles and Mark Aurelius, of course, popping in. Rapunzel saying hello. Let's see. I don't see Louise X Sparrow commenting, but I'm sure at one point they were watching. So thank you to everyone who's watching. Everyone, we appreciate you. Your comments after the stream in the comments section always help. The likes, the comments, the subscriptions, or just being here in general, because it's nice to talk to a room of people and not just the two of us. As much as I love you, Brandi, y'all add substance to it.
They really do.
On top of
They
us.
really
So, oh, there we go. Louise X Sparrow's here.
Woo!
Loving y'all. We knew you guys would be here. But yeah, no, see you guys. Is it next week? Next week isn't Christmas.
No.
Next week might work. We'll figure it out. But anyway, guys, have a great rest of the week. It might be difficult, but just know there's a Katie and Brandi stream going down the pipeline. So just make it till then. Bye.